In this episode, we'll discover what stresses are at play in your entrepreneurial lifestyle. But first, let's understand stress better. We can define stress as the body's reaction to any changes that require adjustment or response. The concept of stress has evolved a lot over time, and it can refer to a variety of conditions. For example, effort, fatigue, pain, fear, but also joy and energy. We tend to associate stress with negative experiences, pressure, anxiety, something that's going to consume all our resources and bend us. But stress isn't always negative. In fact, in 1987, a scientist called Selye coined the term positive stress, or eustress. We experience positive stress when we come up with a new idea to save the company, or win a demanding negotiation, or prepare for a sales meeting with a potential client. In these situations, we're anxious or irritated at first, but we calm down and enjoy the ride once we face the challenge. After those stressful situations, we feel excited, confident, and even peaceful. So you see, we have both positive stress, or eustress, and bad stress, which we'll call distress. They both change the way we function. But in one case, we feel great and are ready to take on the challenge and move toward our goals, whereas in the other, we feel weak, stuck, unable to move anywhere apart from away from the challenge. You may wonder now, what's the difference between the two? What makes eustress positive and distress negative? An interesting explanation for this is the conservation of resources theory. And it's based on the idea that our resources and the demand for our resources should match each other. And when they don't, we feel distressed. Our mental, emotional, and physical resources should match the stressors, which per se are neither good nor bad. Imagine trying to start the ignition on a car when the battery's dead. We can't function when our resources are spent. The many stressors, like having to find extra money, new clients, and delivering a demanding project. These stresses that we have to face as entrepreneurs are not the problem. The problem is when our resources are low or entirely spent, when our batteries are not recharged. Stress becomes distress because we don't have enough resources to respond to the demand our lifestyle throws at us. Our well-being depends on our ability to manage and balance our stressors with our resources. In a moment, we'll talk about the most common stressors that we face as entrepreneurs. Now, please fetch a piece of paper and a pen, even better if it's a diary dedicated to this course. As you do this, take the opportunity to stand up and stretch your arms as far as you can. This is a simple recharge technique. Take time to move and stretch when working on the PC or paying attention to something for a long time. Right, back to where we were. As you learn about stressors, take a moment to think about the situations that bring you the most stress. Which of these categories do they fall into? When you identify a stressor you relate to and its category, write down as much as you can about it and how it draws on your resources. Remember, it can be related to your business or to your personal life. Hit the pause button, then press play again when you have finished the exercise. Uncertainty and risk. As entrepreneurs, we constantly face uncertain scenarios and the possibility of failure. The market might change, and a competitor might have started working in your area. Despite how hard you try, you can't control everything that happens inside and outside of your firm. Financial pressure. As entrepreneurs, we often invest our own resources and get indebted in order to fund our ventures. In a constantly shifting landscape, we manage cash flow and commit to paying our team. The result must be profitable if our company is to thrive. Work-life imbalance. Long hours at work, personal time that magically becomes an informal work meeting, weekends on the phone. Does this ring a bell? As entrepreneurs, it is hard to keep clear boundaries, but if you want to be there for the long run, it's something that must be done, regardless of work demands. High expectations and responsibility. Lots of deadlines, too little time. Often we have a lot of expectations placed on our company and ourselves. The success or failure of our company and everyone working within it ultimately depends on us. We constantly push ourselves to overperform, stay ahead of the competition, and innovate. This can feel like a constant pressure that we take with us everywhere we go. High work demands, managing the day-to-day, solving complex problems in a short time, looking after our team and client, and dealing with conflict, switching between tasks and wearing multiple hats at the same time can quickly erode your daily supply of energy. Isolation. Running a business can be lonely, especially if you drive solo or on remote teams. Sometimes we lack people to confide in, and some other times we'd like to open up, but we feel the need to project a strong, confident image to show that we can be relied upon. Sometimes we're surrounded by people and yet still feel lonely. Take a moment to think about the situations that bring you the most stress. Which category do they fall into? We hope this episode helped you understand stress better and find what stressors are at play in your entrepreneurial lifestyle. This is an important first step, as the key to solving any problem is to understand it better. The next episode is where our journey to being more resilient begins. See you in the next episode.